folks, don't now before you put your cynical hats on. Someone has a message for you. And that message is, I really want to get a network job. Oh, wait, no, that's not the message. I'm sorry. It's that Meghan McCain wants liberals to know Republicans aren't racist. And who better to tell than Van Jones?
What do liberals get wrong? I mean, you're one of the few people, I mean, every day you're trying to bridge that gap. Give us some feedback. What are we missing? What are we screwing up? When you go back to your dressing room and you just want to put your head on your desk, like what is it that liberals need to get better about in this whole situation we're in?
So I am first to say I wasn't a huge Trump supporter for all the obvious reasons, but I decided on election night that I was going to try and be as unemotional as possible in analyzing him and his presidency. I'm a political commentator and I want to call balls and strikes in the way that I can. And I don't think I suffer from Trump derangement syndrome in the sense that I can separate the man from the White House. I've never been accused of being racist before in my entire life until recently, until President Trump became president. And I think the problem with that is, and I understand there's a lot of tensions in this country that are overheating in a way that we've never seen before, and we're at a historically incredibly turbulent moment. And I don't pretend to understand the experience of the minorities in this country. Right. But I will say that I have vivid memories of my father being called racist. I have memories of President Bush being called racist, of Mitt Romney, of Jeb Bush.
You think we're overdoing that particular charge? Now it's kind of almost like an antibiotic that we just use too much and now it doesn't have any real effect sometimes.
I think it does a disservice to real racism. I think that for me, thank you. And I think that for me, I want to separate those things, and I don't want that to be thrown around the way that is. And I understand there's a lot of hurt and a lot of pain right now, but it hurts me when you're throwing out that I and basically the party I'm in and all the people I'm in are one giant entity, and everything is the same, and it's as simple as you're racist. And Jon Stewart actually has this really amazing quote that he said, and I'm going to butcher it a little bit, that he knows good people who are not scared of black people, they're not scared of brown people, they're scared of their premiums going up. And that I do think there's a lot of gray zone with Trump supporters, and I would like both of us, myself included, because I'm certainly guilty of this as well, to stop throwing around horrible allegations and name calling, because I don't think it's
the blanket condemnations of both sides.
Someone called the wambulance.
Well, wait a second. Let me just say that it's true. People back when John McCain repeatedly voted against making Martin Luther King Day a national holiday, said, hey, that's racist of you in some fashion. And it's true that when the plurality of the Republican Party voted for Donald Trump, a guy who launched his campaign by saying that Mexico is sending all of their racists, I'm sure some of them are good people. People sort of got the idea that he was making racist appeals.
Oh, my God. Meghan McCain is the Rosa Parks of whiny trust fund babies. I have never, the comedy sketch idea of, when somebody's talking and you just sort of matter-of-factly walk out and jump out the building, jump out of the window to your death, I have never been as close to as when Meghan McCain talks. It's like, right. And I'm opening the
honestly,
window and
okay,
I'm done.
listen. All right. I've had the opportunity to work with Meghan McCain. We did we did a show where she was like a guest, and I was going to be the host.
Fucking sell out.
It's a pilot.
Actually, that's
and I'm sure she's a perfectly nice person.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I am just because why not? Why not? But the idea of Van Jones sitting there and allowing this narrative of it's unfair. The really thing that they get wrong is that they're diluting what real racism is because they're lumping all the Republicans together, as opposed to the reality of, and we all know it, Racism was far more distributed across party lines until the Civil Rights Act. And then all those Democrats who were bigoted racists went to the Republican Party. And the Republican Party has been using race as a fundamental organizing principle for their party. Or we're to believe it is a complete coincidence that 90% of their party and their voters are white people. I mean, this is just absurd. It is absurd that there is a platform. And let's be honest, too. I'm no great shakes either. But the idea that your intellectual pillar to describe what is problematic with liberals is Meghan McCain. If that's the best you can do, all right, for this ballast, for this party, is someone who is there by 100% nepotism. I mean, 100% nepotism.
I think that does like a real disservice to like actual nepotism and whatnot. Like I did audition videos and such. And I think my point is like deficits are super lame and stupid, and we should stop
It's just,
them.
I'm
Like
sorry.
deficits are lame. Like racism is not good, but that's only like some gross guy in the South. My dad's a great guy, and gay people are like okay, but black people yell too much, and it's Obama's fault and such.
At least when Christy Todd Whitman said to me on Hayes, the reason why the right doesn't believe in global warming is because the left has been so snotty about it.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, at least like she had, like, okay, she was a governor. She was, she was a head of the
I don't
EPA.
know who Christine Todd Whitman is, so maybe I'll
But it was
just
just like
keep it in like the 21st century or whatever.
At least you have the sort of like the pedigree, if you will, to make that dumb comment. But this is just sort of like, oh,
Wow.
God.
It seems like Matt has pulled up a relevant quote.
There's
on the
an
screen.
old quote from McCain. I think this might have been on the Straight Talk Express where he says, "I hate the gooks. I will hate them as long as I live."
Well, but that's not racism of black people.
It's also a bit of revisionist history to claim that no Republicans were called racist up until very recently. I mean, I guess she might not have been paying attention, but it's not like nobody thought it was racist when Mitt Romney complained about 47% of Americans were just like welfare queens who paid no taxes.
But speaking of welfare queens, where did that term come from?
That came from like, well, I don't actually know, but I feel like if you're gonna racist it, it's like a disservice to like racism. Hey, deficits aren't cool, guys. Like Social Security, like if you're a millennial,
I'm sorry.
you should
the
like
idea
care.
of like the idea of like Trump derangement syndrome. The idea that there's any like she just stepped back as a political analyst to judge. Wait, you're not going to judge. You're not going to judge the man, right? So there's no element of, and we heard quite a bit about honor when it came to her dad. But there's no element of this guy's personality that implicates the presidency whatsoever. Okay, that's good to note, because if that's completely irrelevant, the antagonizing of North Korea via tweets, it completely irrelevant. The idea of saying like, well, there were good people on both sides in Charlottesville, completely irrelevant. All this stuff, completely irrelevant. And I wonder how hard it would be to find out, like, the Obama apology tour, right? Like just a speech that he makes that is somewhat apologetic. Put aside all that. What is it exactly that this administration, we're supposed to be judging this administration's work on?
He's saying sorry, which is like not cool.
I mean,
America's cool, and saying sorry for America is not cool.
It's just stunning. It's just stunning. And what's even more stunning is like, where's the pushback? Where's the pushback?
Well, can I make a serious comment though?
Is it going to be, there's not going to be pushback from Van Jones because he's got to maintain a CNN viewership?
No, it was more something along the lines of, and that was the moment that Van Jones became president.